Hello guys, you're welcome to another interesting video. In today's video we're going to learn how to draft this beautiful underbust corset with a Basque waistline. It also have a drip cup. Okay, if this sounds like something you're interested to watch, keep on watching. By the way, my name is Grace. So we start by folding our paper into two because we are cutting the front and the back together. This side that is wider is the back piece, while this side that is shorter is the center front. So I've go ahead to label it for the sake of this tutorial CB, and for the front I label CF, center front. Okay, so I've come down at the edge of my pattern paper with 1 inch. This 1 inch is our starting line, okay, and also our shoulder line. I will also go ahead and mark our bust point 10 inch, our underbust 18. For the length of this blouse, I'm marking 20 inch, but I will be adjusting it later. Okay, you are going to see it at the course of this tutorial. I label it full length, bust point, underbust, and the waistline. Okay, so I'm inputting half of our shoulder measurement, which is 7.5. At this bust point I'm going up by 2 inch. This new line I'm connecting is the chest line. Okay, so I'm going to, at this chest line I'm also inputting half of our shoulder measure, which is 7.5, and I connect it on a straight line. I mark 3 by 3 for the neckline. Okay, and I connect it this way. I'm going to be adjusting it later because we are working with a V neckline. I slope our shoulder by 1 inch, and I'm also adding half inch for stitching allowance. That means when I'm cutting on my main fabric, I won't be adding any sewing allowance at this shoulder. Okay, from this shoulder slope line I mark the midpoint. I'm dividing our bust circumference into 4, and I mark that point. I'm going to connect it this way, so our back armhole is ready. Okay, so our nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inch. 7 inch when divided into 2 is 3.5, and I mark 3.5 at the bust line and also at the full length, and I connect it on a straight line. Next, I'm marking 0.7 inch as the dart on both sides. 0.7 inch as the dart on both sides. So at this bust point I've come down by 1 inch, and I connect my that to this 1 inch I step down with. So I've got ahead to label this line as CL, which is the a chest line. Okay, so at this chest line I'm going in by half inch. I also come down by half inch. This is totally optional. You can decide to maintain the chest line, but I just want to do something slightly different. Okay, and from there I've connected back to the width of the neckline. From this curve side, please pay attention to the way I curve it out. I've curved it like this. From this new line I come down with, I've connected back to the underbust with a curve like this. So whatever I have at this armhole, I'm dividing it into 2, and I mark the midpoint. Okay, from that midpoint I'm going to connect it with a curve like this to my underbust this way. So ready, our curve is ready. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and input a hip measurement. At this full length I'm going to input quarter of our hip measurement. Okay, so I've marked quarter of our hip measurement. I measure the dart, which is 1.5. I've replaced it, and I also add 2 inch for stitching allowance. At the waist, I mark quarter of our waist measurement. The dart intake there is 1 inch, and I replace it. I add 2 inch for stitching allowance, and I connect it this way. Moving on to the underbust measurement. Okay, for the underbust, I noticed that the waist and our underbust is the same, so I'm inputting that the dart intake at the underbust is ½ inch. I replace it and I add 2 inch for stitching allowance. At the bust point, remember at this chest line we have already marked the bust point, so we are going to add 2 inch for stitching allowance, and we connect it this way. So to grade the Basque effect, we are going to connect it this way. If this is totally optional, you can connect from your waist down to the full length this way, but I don't want mine to start immediately at the waistline, so I've added 1.5 inch as the length. Remember I told you I will be adjusting it, so I'm doing it right now. So I've added 1.5 inch at this waistline. So we are cutting out the back armhole now. Sorry guys, the camera went off. So at this back neckline, connect it V neckline the way we connected the front, okay? But for the back own, I make use of the chest line, okay? While the front own, I come down with ½ inch. So the front neckline is lower than that of the back with ½ inch, okay? So take note. I've also go ahead and cut the front neckline. So I'm trimming out the front armhole now, okay, with 0.5 inch. So we are going to cut out the cuff this way, and that is our cup. It's ready. I'm also cutting my dart open. Look at what we have here is ready. I'm coming back this paper in order to draw out my bust waistline, okay? So at this waistline, you can decide to maintain waistline, but I will be coming down with 1.5 inch, okay? So from this 1.5 inch, I'm going to connect it this way. You can connect it straight and you can make it curve, but I will be using the straight line, okay? You can make it curve, you can connect it straight. It all depends on the shape that you want. So I've gone ahead and cut it out. After cutting it out, I label my paper the center front and also the center back, CF and SF. I also, we are going to work on the cup now. So I measure my shoulder, whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into 4, and I mark that point. I want to slash it and spray it so that we'll have this gather effect at this bra cups area. So I'm just connecting it straight up like this down to the hem of my paper, and I will be cutting it. I find another new paper. I gum the cup on it, and I'm slashing it now. I want I want to slash it with 1.5 inch, okay? 1.5 inch or 1.5 inch. That is how wide I want to slash it. Okay, you can decide to use 2 inch, you can decide to use 1 inch. Okay, so I've I'm using 1.5 inch as the width of the distance between each is 1.5 inch. Okay, you can see me measuring it. Once I get it, I tape it down. So I'm slashing it with 1.5 inch. You can see the way I'm taping it down so that I will have the accurate measurement. After that, I still measure to see that my shoulder is accurate. Once that is done, I'm going to redraw this shape. I've go ahead to cut it out because this is the one we are going to be working with. Alright, so when I remove it, I'm going to label it cup. You can label it cup or yoke for the front. So for the back neckline, I've extended the line. I'm connecting from the neckline. Remember the neckline for the back, we use the chest line. So I've connected back to the armhole area like this. I will be cutting it out because this will be my yoke. I've also go ahead and label it for the sake of this tutorial. You see, we added 1.5 inch, so I'm going to come down with 1.5 inch, the same method, the same thing that we did to the front, and we are going to connect it this way. Okay, this is the way we are going to connect it. I'm trying to fold in my zipper allowance because I want to have more room for the zip, so I don't connect it. I've not connected down to the zipper area. Okay, so I'm also inputting the distance over that, which is 3.5 inch, and I connect it up to the chest line. I take 0.7 inch. I take 0.7 inch as the distance, the same inch that we took on the front. That is the same that we take. Guys, at this point I actually make mistake. I supposed to fold this my dad before I cut out this my Basque waistline. So after cutting it out, I realized that it shortened my measurement. I'm going to replace it back. Please don't make this mistake. Fold in the dart before you cut it. Okay, fold in the dart before you cut it. I'm going to be correcting mine soon. When I place it back like this, I notice that it has shortened my measurement, so I'm going to be adding up so that I'll get what I want. I've add up another paper, guys. Still starting from the zipper allowance, I'm going to connect it straight up like this. Guys, have you seen that it shortened our measurement? I don't mean I fold my dart and cut it, okay? You couldn't have, or we cut it first before we add this dart. I don't have this little issue, so thank God I've corrected it. Okay, at this waistline I'm going up, I'm stepping down by 0.5 inch and also go up by 0.5 inch, and I will be cutting it out. This is to eliminate any bulginess at the back. Guys, I saw this method of removing bulginess at the back on Instagram, and since then I've been trying it out. It always came out very beautiful. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to shorten any of our measurement. Okay, it's always very nice. It's always very nice. You are going to see the outcome in the sewing tutorial of this top. This is me gumming it back, replacing it back, so that we are going to cut the side back separate and also the center back separate. This pattern of zipper removing bulginess at the back is always very beautiful, very fine, because I will still eliminate some measurement at this zip side. That will be in the sewing tutorial of this video. Okay, I won't be doing that now. So I'm now separating my paper now to have the center back and the side back, because I want to cut it on my paper as a separate piece. If you follow this method I'm doing, you are not going to have any means or any little of bulginess at the zip side. Okay, so this is all for the back and this is for the front. Okay, you can as well label your work the way I do. So this is all for the drafting of this tutorial. Please, in our next video we are going to be going into the sewing tutorial of this beautiful blouse. Please stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching till the very end. See you all in my next video. Bye.